Hello, I have some new makeup products here in front of me I've been wanting to start playing around with and testing. Some of these I have shared recently, but you wanted to see them applied. I have an eyeshadow palette, foundation, concealer, powder, blush, a lip product. I'm sure there's more, but I figured I would apply some new makeup today, wear it throughout the day, and give you my thoughts on the performance at the end of the day. I'm also excited to be partnering again with Beauty Pie for a portion of today's video to share their new Unlipstick collection. Later in the video, I've been using several of Beauty Pie's products regularly for quite some time now, and I'm excited about this particular launch, and I'm excited to start trying some of these products that I haven't tried before and to see what kind of look I end up with. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Let's go ahead and get into applying these products to my face. It's been a couple of hours since I applied my skincare, so it's had plenty of time to soak in. I also forgot I was filming this video and went ahead and did my brows. So Benefit Precisely My Brow in shade 3.5 is what's already on my brows. It will be linked down below along with everything else I'm sharing in today's video. Now, sometimes if I have a big gap in between my skincare and my makeup, my under eye area can start to feel a little bit dry again. So I go in with my Tula Rose Glow and Get It brightening and cooling balm. So I'm going to do that very quickly underneath my concealer and corrector. So I just give it a couple of swipes and then tap it in. And sometimes I dab some directly onto my finger and rub them together and then place it right in the corner because I can't get this big stick right in the corner of my eye. It feels cooling, it's a little bit brightening, and I like the luminous effect that it gives underneath my corrector and concealer. I've been doing my corrector before foundation a lot lately. I don't know why exactly, but I have. I'm using Bobbi Brown Stick Corrector in Bisque. This is the one that I've been reaching for the most, and I'm applying it directly to where the darkness is. I just keep it very localized. I kept those first few products brief because they aren't new, but the foundation I'm using is newly reformulated. It's the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage. I have 3 shades here to see if one matches me. So let's check that out first. And then as I'm applying it, we'll see what's new and improved and what's the same. Okay, so we have shade 010, 020, and 008. Keep in mind, I typically match my face shade to my neck because I certainly don't want those to be off if I can help it. My face can have some surface redness peek through, which makes it seem more pink toned, but my undertones are neutral leaning warm, which you can see in my neck. So I'm going to go with 020. I think that's the closest out of the 3 I have. When I look in person though, it seems a little peachy toned. So I hope it doesn't oxidize or do anything strange to make that more apparent, because that could look, you know, not so pretty. This blends out really easily. Now, this is my first day of testing this out for my foundation roundup that will be coming up soon. I'll be testing it out in different ways, using different methods, different tools, different primers, different powders. I'm using a new powder today, but I will be using staple powders. So if you want more thorough thoughts on this, be sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my foundation roundup because I review foundations regularly. Okay, so this is a very thin formula. It blends in kind of like a second skin, which I love. You know that if you are a subscriber of mine. I hate looking like I'm wearing heavy foundation, even if I want coverage. I mean, that covered up my redness really nicely. So when you look from one side to another, I'm liking that. It blends in beautifully. Now this says it still has full coverage. It's ultra lightweight, 24-hour wear, natural matte finish, second skin airbrushed effect, cruelty-free and vegan, no alcohol, oil, or perfume or parabens. It now has skin perfecting niacinamide and is waterproof, sweatproof, and transfer proof and doesn't have microplastic particles. And they reduced the price to make HD even more accessible to all consumers. It's only $10 now. I'm not sure what the price was before, but especially right now when everyone seems to be raising their prices, it's kind of refreshing to have someone actually lower theirs. It covers redness and smooths pores. It also is a buildable formula. So if you want medium coverage, you could get medium, but if you want full coverage, it's buildable, yet it's thin. I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer in shade 4.5. If you want to check out all 4 shades that I have swatched, you can check out my latest concealer roundup where I review 6 of the newest concealer releases. This was one of them. There's some friendly controversy in the comment section of that video about glitter shimmer in this concealer, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to apply it today. I'm also using it as a lid primer. Maybe our definition of glitter is different, but I just don't see glitter. Actually, I'm going to turn my light off because there is a window in front of me. Now keep in mind, I have hollows, so you're going to see the reflection from the shadows in those hollows. lashes, but I just see sheen and light reflection. I don't see glitter. But it might also depend on the type of texture that's underneath your eyes as to whether it's flattering or if it's not. But because I set my under eye area and my face, I find that it's fine. I am trying out the Nabla Close Up Baking and Setting Powder today. A lot of people have had great luck with Nabla, and I have not really tried a lot from the brand. I think I've only tried like one product. Before I set my under eyes or set my face, I am using a new powder blush, but I want to enhance it from underneath, kind of layer my blushes by using a cream blush underneath my powder. So before I set my under eyes and my face, I'm going to take my BK Beauty 106 brush in Sexy Berry Super Cheek Blush from Beauty Pie. Just lightly tap it in, and I'm going to tap off excess on the back of my hand just so I don't get too much. This is a really great flushed shade for fall, which is great to wear on its own too. I just like to layer with it sometimes. I apologize if you hear something weird in the background. That would be Luke snoring. He's fast asleep amidst a bunch of chaos that I'm trying to organize on the floor. I'm taking the Sonia G Mini Cheek. This is technically a highlighter brush, but I use it under my eyes sometimes. I multitask with my brushes, and I'm just going to lightly dip it into my Nabla powder and press out any creases first that have formed right under my lash line. I always get really nervous about using new setting powders underneath my eyes specifically because sometimes when they're great for setting my face and keeping the shine away from my T-zone, they can make my under eyes look really dry, especially as the day goes on. I'm gonna press out those concealer creases on my eyelids and set that. I just dipped the butt of my sponge into the powder because the surface area was pretty large, and now I'm just pressing this powder, fusing it into my skin until it basically disappears. And I'll re-dip as needed. Notice that I'm not rubbing, I'm just pressing until the powder is fused into my skin. One thing I personally always do is take a tiny, tiny bit on the tip of a sponge, dab off excess onto the back of my hand, and then I take it right under my lash line just to help with creasing a little bit more. I crease really badly at my lash line. I also take it at my outer corner. I'm applying the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Bronzer in the shade Medium, just where the sun might naturally hit across my forehead, my nose, my cheeks, to get kind of just a fresh face to look, using the Sigma F24 brush, which works perfectly for this kind of look. I don't really want a hard contour or anything like that today. For powder blush, I'm using Hourglass at Night. This is such a perfect fall or any time of year shade. I think I said in my monthly favorites and fails that this is perfect for those of you that want more of a flush than say a bubblegum pink would give you, but you're a little bit intimidated by red. Oh my God, Luke is snoring so loud. It's getting louder and louder by the minute. And it also has a really flattering sheen, so you don't have to go in with a separate highlighter. I can't tell if that looks like it's uneven on camera because of the shadows from the way the lights are positioned, but in person it looks nice and even. And I used a Sigma F10 Special Edition brush to apply. I love this blush for fall. After sharing my love for the new Natasha Denona My Dream palette, especially for this time of year, and wearing it in several videos, I received several requests to do some kind of a look with it. So I'm gonna do that today. I'm not quite sure what I'm putting together, but I'll figure it out. So I'm gonna start with the shade Unity on my lower lash line and in my transition. Using a Sigma E38 brush, I'm just pinching it to apply it to my lower lash line. And I've been enjoying starting with my lower lash line and extending it up so that I have a stopping point for the rest of my eyeshadow that goes on my upper lid. It helps to keep that eye lift. I'm gonna do something that might seem a little backwards, but I'm gonna go ahead and line with this dark brown here, Aspiration, using the small angled BK Beauty 208 brush and still following the angle of my lower lash line to keep that eye lift. I'm just gonna place a little mark so that I don't go below the corner of my eye. And then I'm gonna take the same brush and just press it along my upper lash line to create the illusion of having thicker lashes. You can go from the top or the bottom or both, whatever works best for you. You can also use a wider brush. It would probably take less time. I just don't have one handy. And I find wiggling it along the lash line works best. It just gets that pigment in there really nicely and helps get rid of any gaps between lashes that might show through your mascara. It's okay if you're messy because what we're gonna do after this step completely fixes that. You're just gonna connect that mark you made a while ago to the middle point of your eye by building up that pigment and kind of filling it in. Now, if your line is very squiggly, if it's very messy, if it's all over the place, that's okay. We're gonna now take this shade Familia or Carpe Diem right here. You can take it on a brush that's shaped like this, kind of a small little liner fuzzy brush. It's a very technical term. Or on a pencil brush. I'm gonna use a pencil brush, and I'm actually just gonna mix those two shades. Tap off the brush, and I'm basically just tapping that pigment on top of what we just did and at the top edge. You see what I'm doing? And I'm gonna slowly start to kind of swirl my brush a little bit. And I had a little bit more pigment than I wanted there at the edge, so I'm just taking a clean brush and smudging it more. Now, do you see how just doing that quick little step right there takes care of that edge? It smudges it, it blurs it, and it gives this eye a sultrier look than this one. I've been doing this a lot lately. It's easy and it allows me to get my makeup done quicker because I don't have to be as precise. This is why I love this palette, because you can get a nice, warm, neutral look, apply mascara and be done, keeping it matte, or you can go in with one of the shimmers. Now, this shade right here, Vision, looks purple in my monitor from what I'm seeing, but it's actually this duochrome. Can you see that green coming through? I'm gonna play with that right now. I'm gonna apply it with my finger, and I definitely think you can see that duochrome when it's on my finger. It's just so fun for fall. I just spontaneously swiped the shade Spontaneous on the inner third. I wanted a little bit more intensity right above that Vision shade. So I went back into Familia and Carpe Diem. I think I just reversed those. Familia and Carpe Diem with my Sonia G mini booster and just swiped some right above, right in my crease. Not really necessary, just something I thought would add a little something something. I'm in the process of trying this new mascara from Bare Minerals. Well, it's not really new. It's new to me. It's been out for a few months, but I never tried it. This is Bare Minerals Maximist. So I pulled it out the other day to try it, and it immediately weighed my lashes down. So I'm here today to test it again, using it the way I have to use a lot of non-waterproof mascaras. I curled my lashes first, and I applied a very, very light layer of waterproof mascara, very thin, just enough to keep my eyelashes curled. And I'm going in with this now to see if it gives me volume and length, if it doesn't flake or smudge all day. Now, I will say this wand is enormous. It smudged all over my lids the other day. So we're gonna see if it does it again. I'm not gonna talk while I apply this. That's not typically the side that I smudge while I'm applying it, but I do already have it on my brow bone just from blinking. This is typically the disastrous side. There's no way I can apply this to my lower lashes. There's just no way. It's gonna end up everywhere. And I feel like it's kind of straightening out my curled lashes, even though I put waterproof mascara on them. We're gonna see how this wears. I like a lot of products from Bare Minerals, but this just might not be one of them. And I am someone who combs through my lashes. I know some people say if you have to comb through it, it's not a good mascara. My lashes just clump. We're all different. And now I've got to scrape this off now that it's dry and put something trusty on my bottom lashes that I know I can apply there without disaster. I'm applying Sheer Mocha to my lips from the new Jenna Lyons Unlipstick collection she just launched with Beauty Pie. There are 8 shades in this collection, ranging from subtle to more dramatic. I have 4 here that I'll show you swatches of here in a second. For those of you who don't know Jenna Lyons, she is the former president and creative executive director of J. Crew, who has some great projects currently going on. So this is a new hybrid lipstick formula that can be subtle or bold. If you wear nothing underneath it, it gives you kind of a blotted sheer lip look that feels kind of like a lip balm, but it doesn't have the sheen to it. It's more of a demi-matte finish. If you add more layers or wear a lip liner underneath like I have now, it's bolder, but yet it doesn't look or feel thick. And what I really love about these, being in my upper 40s, is that these are made with nourishing natural waxes and extracts that help refine lip contours and restore lost volume. So it's kind of like getting a treatment and a lipstick all in one. The bullets are sold as refills that can fit perfectly into the new Keep This case, kind of like the bronzer that I showed a few months ago. It's made from 100% recyclable aluminum and has that lovely magnetic click closure. There are neutral shades, bright shades, fall shades. The 4 shades that I have here to swatch for you are Sheer Mocha, which is what's on my lips, also what I applied in the clip I showed a while ago, Lipstick Pink, Jenna, and Strike While It's Hot. Now the lipstick plus the case would typically retail for $38. If you're a Beauty Pie member, you can grab them for $20 and you can pick up a refill for $12, whereas it would normally retail for $28. And you can save $10 off your first Beauty Pie purchase with my code stephbmarie sent me. I have the link and my code down below in the description box along with everything else in today's video. Now I say member because Beauty Pie is a shopping service where you can pick exactly what you want with your membership. It's not a subscription service where you're sent random products. It's for those of you who are looking for luxury quality products, skincare, makeup, fragrance, candles, hair, body care, supplements, but you don't want to pay luxury prices. It's affordable because they allow you to shop with them directly and eliminate retailer markups. They use the same labs as the luxury brands that you know and love, and it's based on the cost of production and development before the middleman steps in. You can get any Beauty Pie product I ever share with you without a membership, but you'll save up to 75% off retail prices if you do have a membership, which at $59 annually actually works out to less than $5 a month for some really great products. I shared the Super Cheek Cream Blush earlier that I use in my everyday life all the time. I have several shades. I love these. They're great to have on hand to get ready quickly, to use by themselves or to layer. And one of my holy grail staple products that I use for my under eye area in my skincare routine, I'll have the link to that video down below, is the Pure Ceramides Elastic Boost Eye Moisture Serum. I love this stuff and will not be without it. This is my second tube and I do already have another tube in backup. I'll link both of these down below if you want to check them out, and my video I did a while back on which Beauty Pie products to start with first if you're curious about that. There's a reason why I keep working with them, because I genuinely use several of their products regularly in my beauty routine. I feel like we ended up with a nice fall makeup look. I'm anxious to see how this wears throughout the day, so stay tuned for that. I'll probably be back on my phone. I'm not sure how the quality will be. It depends on how dark it is. This is the best light that I could get at the very end of the day. It's been almost 10 hours since I filmed and I almost forgot to check in. I have also been leaning on my hands, completely forgetting that I was testing out a foundation. So any wearing away here and here is completely my fault. I haven't powdered, I haven't blotted. And for me, in my T-zone, with 10 hours, this is pretty nice. And I think if I hadn't been leaning on my hands, I would still have blush in those areas. I will be testing out this foundation some more, and I'll be reserving more thorough thoughts for my upcoming foundation roundup. Concealer and powder I think are performing well. The eye look is still very much intact. Not a fan of that mascara brush still, but there's no flaking, no smudging. Despite eating a fairly greasy meal and talking and drinking beverages throughout the 10 hours, this lip product is still kind of there, especially around the outer perimeter, which is uneven for me. I do like that. Sometimes if you have a balmy or a creamy product, even if it's matte, over a lip liner, if they're not specifically long wearing bulletproof type products, things can wear away more than this. So that's been good too. I think 10 hours later, things are still looking nice and natural. My pores still look good. If you want to see further thoughts or swatches of the Charlotte Tilbury concealer that I have on and 5 other new concealers, be sure and check out this video that's on the screen. And I hope you found this new makeup review and wear test helpful and enjoyable. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!